This is Rich Gent with Hot Rail Security, providing you a presentation on what I call Breaking the Rail Trespass and Suicide Paradigm. It is a short presentation on what I feel as a rail public safety professional on how we need to relook and rethink how we're dealing with the horrible tragedy of trespass and suicide on railroad property. I'd like to tell you a little story a friend of mine told me when she was a little girl. She remembers hearing the kitchen door slam. She remembers running out to the kitchen to greet her father. She remembers giving him a big hug. Then she remembered looking up at her father's face. There were tears in his eyes. She goes, "Daddy, what's wrong?" He looked down on her and said, "Honey, I just killed somebody with my train." We can solve the problem. However, we need to refocus and rethink how we're dealing with these horrible tragedies. However, before we start modifying the paradigm, we need to look at what we're currently doing, which is presentations, posting, policing, and fencing. We are providing public safety presentations. We are posting no trespassing signs. We are asking law enforcement to help us with the trespassing problems. And we are putting up fencing. Basically the 3 E's of education, engineering, and enforcement. Is it working? Well, according to the 2016 Federal Railroad Administration statistics, there is a 25% increase in trespass incidents. Also, between 2013 and 2016, on average, 300 people per year take their life via train. So I decided to put my 37 years of naval intelligence experience and 19 years of experience as a state coordinator for Operation Lifesaver to deal with these horrible tragedies. So one of the things we do in the military is called intelligence preparation of the operational environment. Basically, that is a detailed study of what's going on the ground. And that's exactly what we need to do with trespassing. We need to look at such things as socioeconomic considerations. What does the environment look like? Are there any common nuisances out there? What is the age group? Why are they going between point A to point B? What are the businesses out there? To develop a detailed report to provide a tailored trespass solution to that particular area. We also need to look at education. However, I am recommending that we concentrate on K through 6 age group. Why do I recommend that? Well, I've been in high schools where I've been approached by students who said, "Hey, you're the train guy." And you say, "Well, what do you remember from my lecture I gave you?" He said, "Oh, yeah, stay off train tracks." And we also need to re-engage older age groups in such things as community events using the latest technology, such as the Canadian Operation Lifesaver use of virtual reality, where you can take a virtual reality effort and almost experience being hit by a train. We also need to emphasize our political leaders and what we're doing. Go to school board meetings, go to city councils, and tell them how we are keeping the public safe. We also need to approach law enforcement fully understanding that they have priorities and they're basically cut thin. And we need to offer them alternative solutions, such as the Washoe County Sheriff's Office Rail Auxiliary Team, which provides a trained force multiplier specifically dealing with railroad trespassing. And we also need to involve the community, particularly the businesses in the area where the trespassing are occurring, and help them provide reports to keep trespassers off railroad tracks. We need to continue our engineering efforts, but using technology such as drones or unmanned air vehicles to provide that bird's eye view up and down the railroad tracks. And lastly, continue to support enforcement and understanding that law enforcement is cut thin, but if they have a fully vested rail auxiliary team like the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, which is a trained force multiplier, they will know the fact that how to get information to the law enforcement officer, keeping that eyes on that trespasser so that he or she can go up to deal with the trespass problem. The bottom line is that we need to look at the problem differently. We need to modify the paradigm so that no more family members, train crews, or first responders will be affected by the horrible tragedy of rail trespassing incidents and suicides on railroad property. Thank you very much.